Your parents don't get you. And here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not because they don't love you. It's because they literally can't understand your world. The gap between generations right now is wider than it's ever been in human history. And I'm going to prove it to you in the next 10 minutes. Think about this for a second. Your grandparents could relate to their parents' childhood stories. Sure, technology changed. But the core experiences stayed similar. They walked to school. Their parents walked to school. They played outside. Their parents played outside. The world moved slower. Change happened gradually. But you? You grew up with a smartphone in your hand. Your parents grew up with rotary phones attached to walls. That's not just a technology difference. That's a fundamental shift in how human beings experience reality. And it's tearing families apart in ways we're only beginning to understand. Let me paint you a picture of what's really happening here. Every single day, parents and children are having the same arguments. Why are you always on that phone? Why don't you understand I need to stay connected? Why can't you just get a stable job? Why can't you see the economy is completely different now? These aren't just disagreements. They're collisions between two entirely different universes. Here's where it gets interesting. Previous generations faced change over decades. Your great-grandparents saw the introduction of electricity. Revolutionary, yes. But it took 50 years to become widespread. Your parents saw personal computers emerge. Game-changing, absolutely. But again, the transition was gradual. They had time to adapt. You've witnessed more technological and social change in 10 years than your ancestors saw in their entire lifetimes. Social media exploded. The gig economy replaced traditional employment. Gender and identity conversations evolved at lightning speed. Climate anxiety became a daily reality. Mental health went from taboo to mainstream discussion. All of this happened before you even finished high school. Now let's talk about the parent perspective. Because here's what most people miss. Your parents aren't trying to be difficult. They're genuinely confused. They worked hard, followed the rules, and built a life. In their minds, that same formula should work for you. They don't understand why you're stressed about things they never worried about. They don't get why you can't just show up somewhere with a resume and get hired on the spot. But here's the critical part. The world they're describing doesn't exist anymore. A college degree used to guarantee a middle-class life. Now it guarantees student debt. A house used to cost 3 times your annual salary. Now it costs 10 times. A stable job used to mean 40 years with one company and a pension. Now it means hoping you're not replaced by artificial intelligence next quarter. The communication breakdown goes even deeper than economics. Let's examine the psychological dimension. Your parents were raised in a culture of conformity. Don't make waves. Respect authority. Keep personal problems private. Success meant fitting in and moving up a predetermined ladder. Their parents taught them these values because they worked in that era. You were raised in a culture of authenticity. Be yourself. Question everything. Mental health matters. Success means finding purpose and meaning, not just a paycheck. These aren't just different preferences. These are fundamentally incompatible worldviews. And both sides think the other is crazy. Consider how information flows differently now. Your parents got their news from 3 television channels and 1 local newspaper. Everyone consumed the same information. Everyone operated from the same basic facts. Disagreements happened, sure. But people shared a common reality. You get information from infinite sources, personalized algorithms, and global perspectives. You can fact-check anything instantly. You're exposed to diverse viewpoints your parents never encountered. You see behind corporate and government messaging. This creates what researchers call reality fragmentation. You and your parents literally live in different informational universes. Let me give you some concrete examples of how this plays out. Your mom says get off social media and talk to real people. She doesn't understand that your online friends are real people. You've shared struggles with them your parents never knew about. You've built genuine connections across continents. To her, it looks like you're staring at a screen. To you, you're maintaining your support network. Your dad says just walk in and ask for the manager. He doesn't know that applications are all online now. That algorithm screen resumes before humans see them. That asking for the manager makes you look entitled and out of touch. His advice comes from genuine experience. But it's experience from a world that vanished 20 years ago. The career conversation especially highlights this divide. Previous generations had clear paths. Go to college, get a degree, work your way up, retire with a pension. Linear. Predictable. Secure. They genuinely cannot comprehend why you might want to be a content creator or start a side hustle or work remotely. But you've watched entire industries disappear overnight. You've seen automation replace jobs. You've witnessed the gig economy turn stable careers into precarious contracts. You know that diversifying income streams isn't lazy. It's survival. You understand that building a personal brand isn't narcissistic. It's necessary. Your parents see instability. You see adaptation. Money creates massive friction too. Your parents think you waste money on experiences instead of saving for a house. They don't realize house prices have increased 800% while wages increased 30%. They think you are financially irresponsible. You think they're financially illiterate about current economic reality. They saved for retirement because pensions and social security seemed reliable. You know those systems are collapsing. They think you're pessimistic. You think you're realistic. They had economic security you'll never experience. You have economic flexibility they never needed. Neither side can fully grasp the other's financial landscape. Relationship expectations have transformed completely. Your parents likely married young, stayed together regardless of happiness, and viewed divorce as failure. They built their identities around traditional family structures. Gender roles were clear. Expectations were established. Everyone knew the script. You're navigating a world where marriage is optional. Where gender is fluid. Where family structures are diverse. Where staying in an unhappy relationship is considered the failure, not leaving it. Where mental and emotional health take priority over social expectations. Your parents see chaos. You see freedom. Your parents see disrespect for tradition. You see evolution toward authenticity. Technology amplifies every single one of these divides. Your parents see you on your phone and think you're being rude. You're actually multitasking, staying informed, managing your life. They think face-to-face conversation is always superior. You know that sometimes text communication is clearer and less confrontational. They think online relationships are fake. You know they can be more honest than in-person ones. The privacy conversation reveals another massive gap. Your parents shared everything with their families. Your business was family business. Boundaries were weak. Community and family knew your struggles and successes. This felt supportive to them. You value privacy and boundaries. You choose what to share and with whom. You don't think your parents are entitled to every detail of your life. This feels like rejection to them. They think you're secretive. You think you're healthy. Both perspectives make sense within their respective contexts. Political and social issues create perhaps the deepest divides. Your parents grew up when certain conversations simply didn't happen. Race, gender, sexuality, mental health stayed private. Challenging systems meant you were a troublemaker. Accepting things as they were meant you were mature. You grew up seeing injustice called out constantly. You learned that silence enables oppression. You understand that systems need challenging. You know that acceptance isn't maturity, it's complicity. When you advocate for change, your parents might see it as disrespect. When they counsel acceptance, you might see it as privilege. So here's the real question. Are generation gaps actually worse now? The answer is unequivocally yes. The pace of change has accelerated exponentially. The technological divide is unprecedented. The economic landscape has transformed completely. The social fabric has restructured fundamentally. This isn't your imagination. The gap is objectively wider than ever before. But we also talk about it more. And that's actually progress. Previous generations suffered in silence. They felt the disconnect but had no framework to discuss it. No language to express it. No validation that their experience was real. You have online communities. You have therapists who understand intergenerational trauma. You have research confirming what you feel. What do you do with this information? First, recognize that neither side is wrong. Your parents' advice made perfect sense in their world. Your strategies make perfect sense in yours. The problem isn't bad intentions. It's incompatible contexts. Understanding this reduces resentment on both sides. Second, pick your battles. Some conflicts matter. Some don't. Your parents will probably never understand cryptocurrency or why you need therapy or why you can't just buy a house. That's okay. Focus on maintaining connection despite disagreement. You don't need them to understand everything. You need them to respect that your experience is valid. Third, translate when possible. When your parents give outdated advice, recognize the underlying care. They want you to succeed. Their methods are obsolete, but their intentions are good. When you explain your choices, connect them to values they understand. Frame your unconventional career in terms of hard work and responsibility. Frame your mental health advocacy in terms of taking care of yourself. Fourth, accept limitations. Your parents might never fully get it. And that's genuinely sad. But it's also reality. You can't force understanding across a generational chasm this wide. You can maintain love and respect while acknowledging fundamental differences in worldview. The generation gap isn't going away. If anything, it's going to keep expanding. Change is accelerating, not slowing down. The world your children grow up in will be as foreign to you as your world is to your parents. That's the new normal. The question isn't whether the gap exists. It's how we navigate it with compassion and wisdom. Remember this. Every generation thinks the next one is ruining everything. Your parents' parents said the same things about them. This is a human pattern as old as civilization. But this time, the gap really is different. Wider. Faster. More fundamental. Acknowledging that reality is the first step toward bridging it. Or at least toward maintaining connection across it. Because at the end of the day, love matters more than understanding. And sometimes, that has to be enough.